He'll look at you and go, nah, that happened.
So Beyonce jumped down on you.
She jumped down. Oh, she was like on a windowsill.
Right.
We was in Vegas. She said, come on, I'm talking to her. She jumped out. She was like, duh, duh, duh. And I'm like, wait, what is she doing? That stuff, that's me and Jay-Z stuff. This ain't got nothing to do with you, girl. Don't come
So
on.
Hov wasn't there?
Hit me. I'm talking to Jay.
Talking to Jay.
As soon as I talked to Jay, she jumped down, came over. I said, oh shit, look at this.
They about to jump you.
You lucky Solange wasn't there.
Yeah, you lucky Solange wasn't there.
Solange was there, I would have had to reboot.
The moment it all turned is one of those freeze frame images your mind won't let go of. Picture this: the bright lights, the glitz, the handshake that looked like everything was fine, but behind it, the fault line was cracking. It's when everything you thought you knew about loyalty, family, power, and truth suddenly slides under your feet. That's where our story begins. A man once untouchable, a young voice long silenced, and a confrontation that changed the game forever. In the spotlight is 50 Cent, known for his bold words and hard edges, and across from him, the legendary Jay-Z, empire builder, global icon. But what nobody expected was the name of Rymir Carter, quiet until now, suddenly roaring into view. This isn't just a rap battle or a track feud, it's deeper. It reaches into the heart of family, the secrets of the elite, the question, what happens when truth knocks at the door of power?
It's coming. And, you know, 4 months later, in the club hit and it was over. And it was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out.
Do you believe wholeheartedly that Jay's your father?
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not as far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like, it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, been seeing a lot. I can take me being embarrassed. Like, this can't take nobody not saying nothing.
The stage is set, the players are ready, and the public is watching. To understand just how explosive this moment really is, we need to rewind. Jay-Z wasn't born with a crown. Raised in the projects, grinding every day, he turned his story of survival into one of the biggest triumphs in music. He rose through the ranks, earned the respect of peers, built an empire, married an icon in Beyoncé, and became more than just a rapper. He became a symbol. Along the way, though, there were whispers about deals, alliances, secret meetings, about protecting the image at all costs. Because when you build that kind of legacy, the house you live in is glass. It cracks under pressure. Rymir's story, the one barely whispered about, is rooted in that same world. A young man who grew up outside the spotlight, yet always felt the echo of an answer missing. He was told his life should fit a certain narrative, but something didn't. Something was off.
To BMF now, too.
Yeah, she's working on the BMF series, and then, you know, City Girls up like a mom.
Did you do that just for Diddy?
No, that was ahead of the thing with Daphne or whatever like that. But y'all, man, I ain't kissed in the mouth in 10 years, man. Somebody got to kiss him.
Oh, man.
That's a wild shit.
Yeah, you know, that ain't no, like, for real. You know, like, it ain't one of those situations where, you know, how they have us in it, like, they'll still go back to the baby mother and hang out with the baby mother and stuff like that. Nah, and that was not like a relationship then anyway. It was more like an arrangement.
And his mother held the shape of that secret like a letter yet to be opened. She wasn't chasing fame or headline deals. She was holding on to hope that one day someone would listen and say, "What happened to you matters." She told him, "Over the years, you deserve the truth." When you're growing up, hearing that can feel like a promise, but it also becomes a weight, because you start wondering, why hasn't the truth come yet? What has the system cared more about, you or the image? For Rymir, each small denial, each closed door, each shrug from someone who could have helped became a beat in the chest kind of pain. Not the loud, crushing kind, the quiet kind. That hurts more because it lingers. And then the storm arrived. What nobody expected was how loud the silence had become.
You have something huge coming up, a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
I know
he did it. You've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Puffy was playing with your booty in Miami.
You know it was in Miami.
Says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to the parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
So was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
It started with legal papers. It started with a name, Rymir claiming a father, demanding recognition. Jay-Z, for decades, moving through stages, ceremonies, Grammys, red carpets, always in control of the narrative. But here was a man saying, "You're my father, and you've ignored me." The world watched. But here's the twist. Behind the scenes was more than a paternity claim. It was a tangled web of alliances, of money, of brand protection. Beyoncé's camp, Jay-Z's empire, the fans, the industry, all of it stacked. In the opening move, Rymir's team dug into records. Subtle, almost invisible until you stared at them. Properties, timelines, mentions. And for each piece that lined up, the thread pulled tighter. What started as whispers became headlines. The media asked, how did someone so high up avoid taking the test? The courts asked, why the delay? The public wondered, what is he hiding? 50 Cent watched all this. He's been around long enough to know how stories are packaged, how truths are sanitized, how people in power sometimes get to choose whether silence is louder than a megaphone. He decided not to watch quietly. On a post, he called out Jay-Z, not as a friendly jab, but as a calibrated strike. "You said you're innocent. Let's test that," the tone said without saying it. Viewed by millions, shared widely, the gloves came off. But let's go further. The betrayal here isn't just about a missing father or a DNA test. It's about the world those two men live in. A world that sells excellence, sells unity, sells success, but maybe hides desperation, avoidance, guilt. Rymir's side said, this isn't about money. This is about clarity, about knowing your place in your own story. Jay-Z's camp said, we're dealing with a claim. We'll hear the facts. The delay? Strategy. The silence? Legal caution. But for the people watching, the delay felt like a dodge. The silence felt loud. Then the public moment, the decision. A judge-allowed movement. The paper doors were opened. This wasn't guarantee of victory, but for the first time in years, the truth had a chance. 50 Cent didn't wait for the verdict. He called the shot. He made the commentary. He posted the memes. He did what the industry often does, translate pain into spectacle. And Jay-Z, the icon, the mogul, now under pressure. Because when someone says you ignored them for decades, your brand can't just carry that away. Fan loyalty, sponsor deals, image contracts, they all matter. And when they seem connected to avoidance, they crack. Behind the scenes, conversations changed. The conversations that used to be about art are now about accountability, about whether the man who taught you how to get rich recognizes the kid who asked only for the truth. What nobody expected was the magnitude of the fall, if it comes. Because when you climb that high, you're the star, but you're also the target. It's here the emotional toll hits hardest. For Rymir, he's not just a claimant, he's a son who woke up asking, why me? Why wasn't I acknowledged? The answer, so far, has been, wait, be patient, maybe later. But each later felt like another ghost in his life. Family gatherings, milestones. He watched friends celebrate fathers he knew. He watched life move on. That hurts. You try to tell yourself you're okay. You try to build your own path. But sometimes the question behind you echoes so loud, and it's about you. Maybe the betrayal is not a person, but a system. The system that says if you don't fit the mold, you get ignored. If you don't know your place, you stay silent. But then the system cracks. You step into the light. And what did you bury for that moment? Jay-Z, the man whose career soared, whose family expanded, whose empire is cemented, now faces something no rapper wants: his narrative being challenged from inside. The public is sympathetic to the little guy. The public loves a renegade. And 50 Cent turned that love into a sword pointing at him. So now the icon learns, legacy isn't just built on hits and deals, it's built on truth, on acknowledgement, on the ripple your personal decisions make in someone else's life. For the family, Beyoncé, Blue Ivy, the twins, they're part of a story too big, yet the story has cracks. When your husband-father figure is being called out, when your empire's image is under tension, what do? You protect, you pivot, you hope it passes. But you can't hide the tremors. Career-wise, deals are being watched, sponsors are quiet, comments grow loud. The industry that once applauded the climb now wonders, at what cost? And for 50 Cent, this is both payoff and cautionary tale. Because skating close to the edge of exposing a titan draws heat, but he went there anyway. He said to the crowd, "Look, watch, the mighty can fall. And sometimes they don't need to fall, they just need to answer." In the end, what do we make of all this? It isn't a simple tale of rich man versus poor man. It's not just about music or fame or glamour. It's about what happens when someone you're supposed to know denies you your right to know. It's about the family that matters, the voice that was silenced, the empire that thinks it's buried that voice. And now the voice is back, stronger, demanding justice, demanding truth. 50 Cent's slap across the table wasn't just loud for the show. It was a warning. Fame and fortune don't grant you immunity, they grant you responsibility. And if you dodge that, you risk losing more than your image. You risk losing your story. So here the question hangs. Will the silence break? Will the result bring peace or more pain? Will Jay-Z answer the call that Rymir's been making for years? And will the world watch him step into the honesty his brand says he represents? Because if he does, he wins something far more powerful than a chart-topping album. He wins redemption. If he doesn't, then the myth remains, but the man is exposed. And that might be the real collapse, when legend outlasts the truth. So stay close, because when the lights are brightest, the shadows are longest. And the next chapter in this saga, it could change the game entirely. And if you're loving these deep dives into the real stories behind the headlines, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and join the family. Because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.